Friendships, they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. We learn that more and more as we get older. And today we're getting some help on figuring out what to do with relationships that may have taken a toxic turn. Here to help us is the host of the Friendship IRL podcast, Alex Alexander. Welcome back to New Day, my friend.
Hi, Amity. Nice to see you.
It is always great to see you, and it's always great to get your advice on things that can be potentially sticky. We've all, at some time or other, had a friendship turn toxic. We may not even have realized it. We may be too young to realize it. Our moms are saying, this is toxic. So, remember, you have a couple of tips that you want us to remember. So what is tip number one?
Oh, tip number one is to remember that quite often people just want to say like, oh, well, that's a toxic friend. Mm-hmm. Like that person is toxic.
Right.
And I understand it's easy to just do that and move on.
Right.
But really, there's something about the problem that is toxic. There's a situation. And it's important to label that, to spend some time reflecting and determining what that is, because that's the only way you're possibly going to solve it.
Okay.
And even if you end the friendship, that's the only way that person can change.
You and I, you've kind of given me advice about this, about one friend I have that's kind of going through a toxic time in her life, and you said to be mindful of that. But you also say tip number two is spending that time, like even 10 minutes reflecting, right?
Yeah, you can go on a walk, you can fold your laundry, you could sit down and do a little journaling. But I think most people just say like, something feels off here and move on.
Yeah.
Most of us don't spend a lot of time thinking about our friendships.
So if we spend that time thinking, we can maybe kind of get to the root of the problem, or realizing maybe this is not great, or even giving us a chance to, tip number three is to have a conversation, right?
Yes, so many people just want to keep it in their heads. They sit at their friendship hangouts, you and I here, and just ruminate on how mad we are about the situation.
Yeah.
I think having a conversation is really important. I know it might be hard, but remembering that healthy conflict, is actually a form of vulnerability in your friendships. If you can work through that, it will make you closer on the other side.
See, this is what I was this is where I get worried, because so last summer, may I share? Is that okay with everyone? Okay, last summer I had this friend who up and disappeared, because our girls are really good friends, and then they weren't hanging out as much, and then she didn't want to hang out with me, and I was so hurt that I contacted the other friends in our friend group, and I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, just let it go, don't say anything. It ended up re-correcting its course, but when is the time to say something and when is the time not to?
I mean, maybe your friends had some other insight. Maybe they knew that other friend was actually going through something and it wasn't you. I don't know. But quite often in that case, I would just ask the original person, hey, did I do something wrong?
Okay.
I really enjoy spending time with you. Did I do something wrong? And just give them the opportunity.
That's I'm going to write that down. That's a really good, because you never know. You're because, part of me, I get a little feisty. I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? But I like that. Did I do something wrong? It's a lot less confrontational. Good idea. Okay, tip number 4, you say considering a friendship pause can be helpful sometimes in these toxic relationships.
Yeah, so often we just want to end it.
Yeah.
Move on. That's it. And I personally have had a lot of success with a friendship pause. There's nothing to say that you can't just let a friendship breathe for a while.
Yeah.
I had a friend who had a personal problem. They just kept going, ruminating on and on and on every time I saw them. And at a certain point, I just said, hey, I think you might need to see a therapist about this. I think I can't help you with this.
I've said that before.
And we just saw each other a little less frequently for honestly about a year. Our friendship's great now.
And you have options to this taking a pause. So option 1 is let go of one area of the friendship. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so often, again, we're about to just cut the whole friendship off.
Yeah.
And I like to remind people, let's say that the conflict keeps coming up with you and your friends when you're talking about parenting.
Okay, yes.
And maybe you just don't really talk about parenting with that friend anymore. When that conversation comes up, you change the subject, you excuse yourself to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
You can still hang out with that friend. You leave the conversation maybe at a party and go join another group.
Yeah. Okay.
But you silo off that topic. That seems to cause a lot of problems.
That's such a good point, because, and you know what I think, and even if you're not taking a break, but I think at any time something that's going to get you heated, what a good time to be like, oh, excuse me, I need to go take a call, or I just need to take a walk from this situation. Genius. Okay, option number 2, readjust how you spend time together. What does that mean?
So maybe you have tried to travel with this friend.
Oh, yeah.
You've done it a couple times and just it does not go well.
Yeah.
But you can get together for barbecues, you can go on walks, you can do all sorts of things together.
Yeah.
Maybe you just don't travel with this friend.
Okay. Or that's good. Or maybe like shopping isn't the thing to do with them or something else. Okay. That's good advice. Option 3, let go of the friendship entirely. This is hard. I have done this in the last 5 years with one friend specifically. It was like a breakup, but my life is much better not having this person in it now.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone through friendship breakups. I think everybody has. We don't talk about them enough, but sometimes if you've, tried to have a conversation, tried to silo off certain areas of the friendship, or honestly, we have to acknowledge that some friendships maybe are a little emotionally abusive. They are just repetitive cycles. The other person is having some problem. You've tried to help them. They won't accept any help.
Okay.
You might just have to move on.
Yeah. Is there a right way to do this? Like,
it's so unique to every situation. Sometimes if it's somebody you see super frequently and you're going to just cut them off, it might be good to say, hey, this is the problem we keep having that I haven't seen a solution for.
Yeah.
Other times you might be able to just see each other less frequently. Really just depends on the situation.
That was it. Like, I see the person, I did see the person for a while, and then it was just awkward. Eventually kind of course corrected and we were cordial.
Yep.
How are you? How are you? Fine. All right, you have one more tip I want to ask you. So refocus your energy on what to add instead of what you're losing. What is in this regards to what?
So there was a reason that you wanted to move on from this friendship. We go back to the reflection piece. There was a problem.
Yeah.
And maybe, let's say it was that they don't ask you about a big goal that you have. They completely ignore it, or they aren't supportive at all.
Yeah.
Then that would be a great place for you to refocus and either meet a new friend or start opening up to a friend you have about that area of your life. Like find the support or the activities that you wished you had in that other friendship in either a friendship you have or a new friendship.
All of this is so hard, but I have to say from my experience, it only took me to my mid-40s to finally have a friend group, a female majority friend group that is just nothing but support, kindness, love, and like just affection. And it does feel so much better now, knowing that I don't have to be on my guard. It's not like high school anymore where I'm like, is she talking about me? Is she cutting me out of the group text? If you're ever feeling these ways, honestly, stop it. Because I know that I remember being like, I still feel like I'm in high school and I'm not.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel good. So finally, I now feel good everywhere I go. And then if that's how you feel right now, listen to her podcasts. Just listen. I've learned so much from you since meeting you last year. Your podcasts come out every Thursday, right?
Every Thursday, new episode today.
And by the way, the new episode today just so happens to be with our executive producer Joseph, who is standing by. So what is the podcast about? What were you chatting about?
Oh, so yeah, when I met Alex, I really feel like she opened my eyes to all these new aspects of friendship I had never considered before. And the biggest one so far that I've learned about is the concept of historic friends you knew a long time ago but aren't in your daily life, and your present friends, and differentiating between the two. And she asked me some pretty heartfelt questions about that.
Really?
And I realized it was also kind of a chat about what it's been like going from your 20s to your 30s for friendship, pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic. So it was really kind of a good chat.
What a thoughtful chat, because I know to you, your friends are your family.
Oh, yeah.
That is your family here in Seattle.
I take my friends very seriously, yeah.
You do. You're very loyal in that sense. So what was your advice to Joseph about chatting about present versus historic friends, or do we have to wait for the podcast?
Well, you can go listen to the podcast for the full conversation, but so often friendship is seen as, you just get closer and closer and closer.
Yeah.
What I noticed is what happens when you're in Joseph's situation and your friends move across the country, or there's some big life change that happens. How do we wrap our brains around that? That's how I came up with the concept of historic friends. So it's not a downgrade, it's not a lesser than, it's really a celebration of all this history you have with these friends, but also allowing yourself to add in some places, right? Joseph, I think in the learning about this concept, realized that he didn't maybe have as many local friends to do certain things with, and he can put a little energy there. A little energy there. Okay, such great advice. Thank you so much, Alex. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You have such insight, because we really do need to start talking about our friendships just as important as our relationships, because they're equal, I feel like, in supporting the whole human being. So I am so grateful to you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.